Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Let me make sure my sound and everything is good. Dogs are walked, watered, driven around in the car. They're happy. So now that they're happy, I am back here to do the news. Guys, coming up 10:30 on Friday, Richard Wolff is going to be on the show. That is going to be an amazing show. He's going to be here for 30 minutes. You can see it live. That is awesome. Also, if you find yourself that you're coming to the show often and you enjoy the content, please subscribe. And also, if you find that you like it by the time that you leave, please like. So, and also hit the notification bell. I do shows all the time. I know people said they haven't been getting the notifications, but that's all we got. That's all we got. I used to be in IT. Sometimes there are fuck-ups in systems. So, it's what it is. I've been doing heavy stories all morning, so I kind of want to laugh. So let's have some fun. Joy Reid. Let's jump to Joy Reid. I laughed my ass off as I read the story because I was like, God, this is pathetic. This is extraordinarily pathetic. All right, so Joy Reid has found herself into be a little bit of controversy. That's to put it mildly. Early on, they found these, you can call it messages or things that she's said in her blogs about homosexuals, about gays, the LGBTQ community. You can imagine for a Democrat that scrubs itself an identity, that looks bad. That doesn't necessarily go over well. You need that community, you give lip service to that community, and you are out here on MSNBC, the flagship of the Democratic Party, the mouthpiece of that platform, saying bad things about gays. Now, to be fair to Joy Reid, the first batch of those, some of those were actually pretty fucking funny. Like, the Miss Charlie one is funny to me. That trips me out. And the other one talking about how does his wife keep him away from the male waiters? Oh, God. Now, this is funny to me for very specific reasons. My, when I first met my wife, she thought I was gay. She said, my wife and I spent 14 hours together. So understand what's taking place. We spent 14 hours together on that very first date. I shit you not, 14 hours. We got along extremely well. And she goes back to her friend. She says, girl, I had an amazing date. She said, I think he would be an amazing guy if he wasn't flaming. She said, he is flaming. There's no way he likes women. Now, I've heard this before. So, and I can laugh at this. This doesn't necessarily bother me. The Miss Charlie stuff, that's why it trips me out, because it's actually funny. That part is actually funny. You have comedians who get up there and make fun about blacks, whites, gays, etc., etc., etc. I think there's some jokes that are funny. Now, to be fair, though, she was using this in a political context in order to attack him with this, so that takes the polish off of it. But you get what I mean. If this wasn't necessarily wielded as a political weapon, that joke would be funny. And I gotta be honest, even as a political weapon, that particular one is funny. And she apologized for this batch. She said, look, I'm sorry. I during that time, if she was being honest, what she would have said was, look, the Democratic Party during that time was not hugging identity of LGBTQ community to the way it is now. So there were certain things that I could say that did not run afoul of the party. Now that I am in this party, and now that this party is holding on to identity as tight as it can hold on to identity because it can't talk about economics and other issues, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You've been included into the identity fold. Now I can't talk about you anymore. So I'm sorry. It was wrong to call him Miss Charlie, and it was wrong to say that his wife had to essentially hold him down from jumping on the waiters. Now, the second batch came out. The second batch, less funny. In fact, not funny at all. Some of those compared homosexuality to pedophilia. I mean, those were extraordinarily gross, some of those. Now, Joy Reid, when this came out for the second batch, she responded like any rational, sane human being making, $30,000 a day would do. I've been hacked. I've been hacked. Somebody hacked my account. They traveled back in time and hacked my account. They're trying to disparage my character. The bitches, how dare they? And you say, well, wait a minute. These are not that different than the first batch that you apologized for. I mean, are you sure that you've been hacked? And are you sure those people went back in time in order to hack you? That just seems a lot to do in order to attack a third-rate show on MSNBC. No, fuck that. I've been hacked. And later on, she said, okay, maybe I did write these. I'd said it before the day before she did it. I was right on that one, too. I'm chalking up my wins. I said, this is going to be like Anthony Weiner, Penisgate, where Anthony Weiner tweeted a dick pic or sent his dick pic to somebody. Somebody shows and say, hey, Anthony Weiner sent me his dick pic. His name is Carlos Danger, which is an awesome name. That's the most awesome name in the world. And Anthony Weiner, like any sane, rational adult who's running a political office, I've been hacked. I've been hacked. Somebody hacked my account. They're trying to disparage my character. How dare they? Only to say, okay, that's my dick pic. I'm sorry. That's my dick pic. Joy Reid, same thing. I'm sorry. Maybe I did write those. I'm sorry. I understand they were hurtful. I shouldn't have wrote those bad things. But she said, I'm getting the FBI involved just to make sure. And so supposedly the cybersecurity person who she was working with got the FBI involved into this ridiculousness. The person who she, this is too stupid. The person who she gets involved in this apparently has a history with the FBI. And he has a history of sending in these kind of ridiculous cases to the FBI. He was in a Twitter fight with somebody. And in this Twitter fight, he submits the guy, he calls the guy's name in to the FBI. And what's wild about this? One of the women, he was talking to somebody, and the person apparently didn't trust him or something. And the person recorded their conversations. Meaning the security analyst that Joy Reid is using, who's supposed to be a cybersecurity expert, who is supposedly dealing with this case with the FBI, had a conversation with this woman. And in this conversation, he's telling this woman, they call it an hour-long rambling conversation. That's what BuzzFeed calls it. Where he's telling this woman that he called the FBI on somebody named Litho, and that he's going to get Litho put in prison. The source at the FBI said they were in a Twitter fight. They were going back and forth, meaning it was on both sides. Both were trolling each other. And he escalated it from Twitter to the FBI. Sources at the FBI said it was a waste of time. He said the guy gave us a case that was an utter waste of time. That's the person that Joy Reid has submitting her case to the FBI. A guy with a history of quote-unquote specious allegations against people for Twitter feuds. Awesome. You couldn't make this shit up. That's awesome. This is BuzzFeed. This is fucking awesome. The guy, he had a Twitter feud. And he submitted a person's name to the FBI. Can you imagine that? You're going back and forth with somebody, and then you find out later on that they submitted my name to the FBI. What? What the fuck are you talking about? The guy was shocked by this and was like, these are specious allegations. This is nonsense. And the FBI person who BuzzFeed was able to get to break their loyalty to the FBI agreed. Joy Reid, cybersecurity expert, has a history with the FBI. Let me see. Well, I gave you the first part. So this is the part. They're talking about MSNBC declining the comment. But right here. Where is it? Okay. The source with the St. Louis area anti-police brutality activist named Leigh Mabels, who recorded the telephone calls with Nichols, told BuzzFeed News that Nichols gave information to the FBI that led to an investigation in 2016. In one of those calls, which is nearly an hour long, Mabes and Nichols discusses Nichols' relationship with a variety of people in the activist cyber security community and a plan to start an investigation that would send a man named Gregory Lorette to prison. That's so fucking weird. You're having a conversation and says, yeah, I'm going to send that asshole to prison. I'm going to send that prick to prison. Mabel told BuzzFeed News that she recorded the calls to protect herself once she found out Nichols was in communication with the FBI. She didn't even trust them. Nichols was not aware that the calls were being recorded in Missouri, where Mabel's lives as a one-party consent state. Lorette, a New Orleans IT professional, knew Mabes from Twitter. He told BuzzFeed News that the complaint against him was specious and resulted from an online conflict that individuals who had been trolling him on Twitter. He said he does not know why Nichols reported him. BuzzFeed News could not verify the alleged conduct. No charges were brought against Lorette, and who told BuzzFeed News that the FBI verbally informed him that the investigation had produced no actionable charges. And sources familiar with the FBI investigations told BuzzFeed News that the inquiry revealed trolling on both sides and had been a waste of time. Emails between Lorette and the FBI in charge of the case reviewed by BuzzFeed News confirmed that the investigation took place. In one of the recordings from January 2017, Nichols tells Mabels that he called in Lorette to the FBI, and after Mabes asked him in the same recording if he has taken formal informant vows, Nichols responds, yes. The source familiar with the FBI investigations told BuzzFeed News that this refers to a standard guideline called admonishment that the FBI sources reporting crimes before they proffer information. Oh, that the FBI reads the The FBI reads something to someone just before they're about to report a crime. I guess is, are you aware that you're lying to the FBI? You go to prison, I would imagine, before they proffer information. The source stresses that this does not mean that Nichols is or has been a cooperating subject in an investigation. Last month, an MSNBC source told Washington Post that the network had deferred from commenting on Reid's hacking because the matter had been brought to the attention of law enforcement and they were letting the process play out. We're letting it play out. Democrats must like that term. I'm just letting it play out. Native Americans getting their head bashed in. I let it play out. First black president. I let it play out. Look, I'm doing the story because the story is funny, not because there's any gravity to it. In fact, I'm doing it because there is no gravity to the story at all. I've been doing heavy stories all day, and I thought the story was hilarious. Joy and Reid, I've been hacked. It's like, what happened? I've been hacked. That's what happened. Hillary Clinton screaming, what happened? And Joy and Reid's responding, I've been hacked. I've been hacked. They're trying to disparage my character, the little bit of it that I have. Yeah, there's nothing else to this case. So, no one believed that Joy and Reid was hacked. Nobody believed that they were hacked. So, yeah, I love this. I take joy in reading because of her lies. Wait a minute. I take great joy in raiding because of her lies. Yeah. Now the question is she lying? Did she actually forget that she wrote those? Or was it just pressure where she's like, I was hacked. It's like, I can't tell people that I said this stuff. This stuff is gross and hateful. I can't say this stuff. And then at some point, okay, I guess I did say these hurtful things. I didn't have time traveling hackers go back in time in order to disparage my character. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. No shit, it didn't happen. Nobody believed. It was like roundly people were like, no, I don't think you're being honest with us. I don't think you're being honest. I will leave it at that, man. I don't want this one to go too long. I just thought the story was hilarious. The guy that she gets to do the law enforcement thing has a history of putting in bogus stories to the FBI, gets into a Twitter feud, and tries to get the guy put in prison because of a Twitter feud. And Joy and Reid is like, yeah, here's a paragon of virtue that I'm going to use to put this case. I suspect that the entire reason that this has gone to the FBI was because of her involvement with this particular guy. That's amazing. That's amazing. I suspect nothing is going to come of this case. And you can even make the argument that the reason why they put this into the FBI was to use it purely for MSNBC to pivot on, we don't respond on cases while they're in the FBI. I'm cynical, so potentially. All right, I will leave it at this. This is a certain level of ridiculousness. Is what it is. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks, everyone. Oh, wait a minute. Make sure I haven't missed anybody. Oh, Joy's progressive. 100% of Hillary Clinton donors polled agree. It's like, I love that. Joy's progressive. 100% of Hillary's donors polled totally agree. Love that. The question is, what was she before she started getting all this money? And what was she before she became this Democratic functionary working on MSNBC? Who knows? She might have been a lefty. Not now. She's not now. That woman is a Democratic functionary, and MSNBC is protecting her from this hateful stuff that she wrote in the past. Look, if you just came out and said, look, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I changed, I evolved on this. I don't do this story. Nobody cares. It goes away. People wag their finger at you, but it goes away. Everybody changes, everybody evolves. I had certain ideas on the Middle East back during the maybe 15 years ago before I actually visited the country, in my early 20s. People evolve. They grow the fuck up if you're living right or if you're growing in a particular direction. So no one holds that against her. That's my point. It wasn't me and I was hacked. You have a person who's saying that they were hacked when it was clear that they probably weren't hacked, that this stuff was probably theirs, and that I don't know who would spend that much time trying to go after Joy and Reid. Just saying. Just saying. I'll leave it at that. You guys have a good one. I will see you guys shortly. It's going to be a day full of shows.